In this week's episode, we do all things tank burying and drainage. Ryan tries the new cappuccino frother. I get carried away with a big pipe.
Yeah. Can you switch that?
And we give a masterclass on how not to bury a tank in heavy rain.
Gone horribly wrong.
An exciting day as we take delivery of a couple of tanks. This is our Klargester BioDisc BF model, and this is capable of processing the waste or poo from 50 people a day. The main incoming chamber at the bottom takes the most of the brunt. The settlement happens in here, and that retains the coarse solids in raw sewage for gradual breakdown. At controlled flow rate, liquid and the finer solids are then fed to the top, where those black discs use good bacteria to break down the harmful bacteria and toxins to make clean water. It then drops into the rearmost part of the biodisc. This is the final settlement, the final link in the treatment process. This pump then pumps the clean, treated water to the culvert in the corner of the airfield, and on to eventually the only north-flowing river in the UK, the River Trent, before reaching the Humber estuary and the sea. You will have noticed in a previous episode that we discovered an existing pipe that almost ran to where we're going, but because of damage to this pipe and the fact that we already had permission to lay a new one, this meant that it was uneconomical to use the old one. Back to plan A, install a new pipe. You'll see that in an up and coming episode. Tank 2 is our full retention oil separator. This constantly filters out sediment and oil. The silt sinks to the bottom and fuel or hydrocarbons rise to the top. Periodic maintenance means you suck the silt out the bottom and you suck the oil off the top. There's an alarm probe in here to let you know if there's too much oil or silt in it, and that's it. This full retention oil separator forms part of our strategy to keep contaminants on site and out of the watercourse. All the water from the washdown bay, the refueling area and the main transport yard will pass through this tank.
Hello and welcome, and Evan is well and truly in. We are very hot and sweaty. Good job there's no smell-o-vision. We are out here after doing a bit of mowing, and we're going to have a go at marking out the locations of our pump pits, our interceptors and our flash packaged sewage treatment works. So a bit of dronage I think from Luke. Nor will be on the camera today, so get ready for some shaky camera work. And we are using the iDig Spotman solution with our GNSS receiver and our little pad, Android pad, and I think I've just literally just skewed a bit of poo with the end.
Oh, nice.
But we're going to go to the corner of the pump pit first, I think. So we're going to go there, and then we'll mark that out, shall we? Or we'll mark that. Let's mark the line of that pipe out. Here we go. The outlet is there.
What's this, just continuing the pipe?
Continuing the pipe run, yeah. just there. Oh! Pump pit. This is the surface water P1 pump pit. So the water from the swale is going to come down here to a big chamber. This will be a big chamber, 1200 chamber. And then deep down there'll be 2 pumps in the bottom, which will lift up and then go up that blue line and then out and along the fence line. Pipe there.
There.
Yeah. There. And that, my friend, just there is the edge of that interceptor tank.
Just here, yeah?
Yeah. Ev,
Yeah.
he wants a solid line.
I'm on it, mate.
Hold that a minute. I've seen them do it. And then you have to get it in line.
This can only end well.
So my arm's like a tractor now.
Yeah.
That's a method.
It's a method. Certainly a method.
Oh, look at that.
That is
FC.
flow controller.
So we're going to have a flow control valve in here, an intelligent flow control valve which will control the height of the swale. So not only are we relying on the old-fashioned height of the pipe, but we can actually control it, and we're going to use telemetry and forecasting information to help open and close this valve, which will in turn set the height of the swale, if it works. Love the spot, man. Very good. Can you imagine trying to do that with a tape measure? And we are accurate to within about 30 mil, 50 mil.
Save a fortune on surveyors as well.
And we're about right, you know, we're there or thereabouts. It's really nice to mark it out. The intersection of all these different components is quite interesting, and you can't see that on a drawing really until you just get the scale. It's a bit like, you know, this pipe here is going to be at 1 metre down, yet that part there, that sewage treatment plant, you can see how deep it is over there. It's going to be like 3.5 metres. So when you go by it with this trench, now all of a sudden, you've got to make a decision as to how you do it.
Do you do it all at once
Do you dig it
and
all
then
out?
take loads of spoil away? Or do you try and do it bit by bit? Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it?
You've got to dig it now before the grass grows and you lose the blue marks, right?
That's the priority. Make sure we don't have to put any more line marker down.
Well, the beauty of the iDig is it's in the digger.
Yeah.
So you ain't got to do any of that. Didn't even have to have a mark on it really. We could have just dug it, but
It's nice to see what we're doing, isn't it?
Very good.
see what we're doing marked out even if we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah. Digging off for the service yard now. We've got this permeable paving solution that we were talking about. So we've got to go down 500 mil for the sub base. It's 600 mil in total because you've got 80 mil of the top layer, the paver. You've got 20 mil blinding, and then 500 mil of attenuation sub base. So we're just going to do 500 mil for now, so that we've got about 100 mil to play with. We've already found a land drain down here, which we'll have to block off. And then we're going to do that for the whole of the service yard, basically. The idea is that it brings it down a little bit lower for the machine to go into, and then when we start putting all of this drainage in down the bottom, all the chambers and stuff, it's not as steep, so we don't have to do as much battering back down there. So yeah, quite a big operation really. If you think that the sub base for building 1 is probably about the same, probably 500-600 mil, something like that. We've got to do probably double that footprint again, and that took a few days. So yeah, it's a decent bit of work to do here. Yeah, back to digger and dumper it.
Hello, avid viewer. So I'm in the telehandler, the one that we had all the trouble with the load cell. Yeah, we're going to do a bit of slingage and pick up a tank, move it out of the way, and then we're going to do a big hole and bury it. There you go. It's as simple as that. Stand by. Hopefully I won't drop the tank and break it or damage it in any way. I'm going to hold Evan personally responsible if that does happen. He's enjoying the grass pollen because he's got terrible hay fever. So it's only about 10 grand this tank, so it's not too big a deal.
Go forward. Yeah, it's clear, it's clear.
Is that it? Put so much over.
Yeah, that'll do, won't it?
So nice big thistle bush there, bro. Hey, it looks mint in the top.
Yeah?
Oh, no, I don't know if I want to say this on camera, really. I'm quite excited about my sewage treatment plant. Are you excited about our sewage treatment plant, Evan?
So excited.
Go and have a look in it. Go up them ladders carefully and have a look in. Wow!
Oh god.
Hey, look at that, eh? Go on, get up there, get in there, boy. Go on. Come on. Room for another one. Here we have our very elegant and eloquent photographer, film man and general all-round good man is terrified of heights.
I'm assuming.
I wasn't until this project.
What do you mean? What, working with me? So here we are, this is our BioDisc. This is our £20,000 plus packaged sewage treatment plant. And we've come to take a few bits out because we're going to stick it in a hole later and concrete it in. Epic. We'll have a look. I know.
I'll hand you the camera.
So we've got to put water in the bottom.
Get a shot of the cavalry, mate.
The boys are bringing the covers over. Really easy to carry they are. So we have to put water in here because otherwise it will float out the ground, a bit like a boat. And this is our water going in from the swale, nice and clean, as you can see. We're allowed about a metre, and we're pretty close to that, so I'm going to get the boys to stop. Are you there still, Rod? Don't walk away on me now. You watch it, might get you away. Can you switch off? Yeah. Okay, lovely job.
Tell us what's happened, Ryan.
You probably don't want to know. It's gone horribly wrong. So you're supposed to fill the tank with water and then equal amounts of concrete on the outside. Keep repeating the process so that the tank doesn't float if you just fill with concrete around it, and the tank has floated.
Oh God.
So we've got to get the tank back out.
Bloody hell, but the concrete's hard now.
Yeah, we need to get the tank out, get the concrete out, start again essentially.
How long does it take the concrete to harden?
Let's go hard. We've got a couple of hours and then, yeah, we're in trouble.
It's coming out anyway, boys, so look out. Oh, the water's gone to one end. Oh. So when I said earlier, be careful because they can pop out, don't understand it. At half a metre of water in it, 300 mil above the level of it, shouldn't have popped out. What do they say? A good tradesman, it's not his ability not to make mistakes, it's his recovery from them.
The Blake Build's Guide to Recovering from a Concrete Cock-Up. 1. Empty the tank of water. You want to make the tank as light as possible. Water inside the tank can compromise the integrity because the tank isn't designed to hold water before it's covered in concrete. 2. Add more water to the excavation. You want the tank to fully float so you can get some straps under it. 3. Pass slings or straps underneath the tank so you can lift it out. This will be easier with no water in it. 4. Empty the excavation of concrete and excess water. We use the digger bucket and the pump. 5. Optimum conditions are needed in order to bury a tank. If you are to bury a tank in wet weather, maybe don't have a cup of tea whilst waiting for the concrete lorry to come, and misjudge the fact that surface water is running into the excavation. 6. Don't film it, because no one will ever know.
I think a lot of it's running back in, isn't it?
Right, just stand back while we do this, mate.
Ollie, you're funny, ain't you?
So will that concrete go back in? Or is it ruined?
Daylight, it would be. It's not ruined because it'll be used to help create the ramp to bring some more concrete in.
Any learnings of the day?
Any learnings of the day?
Don't listen to the instruction manual. Because you wanted to put more in, didn't you?
Yeah.
You went, use manual.
User manual. Oh, a disaster averted. We could have smashed the tank up, we could have had the tank stuck in there, it could have floated overnight. And we'd come back in the morning and it'd have popped. That'd have been even worse. So I can assure you tomorrow when you see us doing it again, there'll be an awful lot more water in the tank. And I'm not going to follow any instructions anymore, I'm just going to follow my gut.
Peace out. Hey, mate. Hey, up. How's it going? You all right? Yeah, yeah, good.
Well, you would come when it's noisy.
Oh no, sorry about that.
Well, that's all right. Not a problem is whether you can hear me or not.
So a week has passed,
Yeah, just over a week, yeah.
and it wasn't going too well last time I was filming you.
Well, I think that's the understatement of the century, isn't it, really?
Remind us what happened again. What caused that?
Oh, nothing at all, really. We decided we'd take the tank out again because we didn't like where it was in the hole.
You wish.
But actually, every cloud has a silver lining. So we took the tank out and put it on the side and waited a few days for the weather to improve. And in that meantime, we had another drawing come through from our structural engineers, which said that really the tank should have reinforcing around it. And luckily, we hadn't successfully buried it in the ground already. So we had the opportunity to put the reinforcing in it, bury it back in the ground. I don't think this will be the final pour. I think we'll have another lorry load. But you can see this reinforcing mesh that's around it. This is an A252 mesh, and it's all the way around the outside of it like a box. We've got to get a couple of 100 mil of cover over the top of it, and reinforcing mesh actually goes in, it's quite specific, the layers or the positioning of it in a slab or where you put it. So this is going to have a lateral load, a load down from the top, so the weight of the yard and any vehicles that are on it. That's really convenient, that, isn't it? Do you know what that noise is?
No, go on.
So on his wagon, he's got these motors that vibrate, and they make the silo shake to shake the material
Take
down.
more down. Wow.
To make sure it doesn't get
a bit like in your digger bucket when it's.
Well, a bit like when you shake anything, really. You know, if you're like, if you're sieving or whatever, that's what he's doing. He pushes a button and then it vibrates it. Yeah, so the position of reinforcing in concrete is quite important. You may have heard of this this rack concrete reinforcing failure.
The school's falling down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's to do with the reinforcing in the concrete and the interaction of it. The reinforcing actually rotting away basically and failing, and then it's losing its strength. So because we want the strength to be in the concrete when it's pushed down, you put the reinforcing at the bottom because that stops the concrete pulling away, if that makes sense. This is A252 reinforcing mesh, and as you can see, it's got this like, it's not knurled, it's a finish on that, it's not straight flat bar, and that's to allow the concrete to grab it. And the 252 means it's got 8 mil bars, and the squares are 200 mil in either direction, and they can be massive. And you can get thicker bars, you can get some sheets that actually have thicker bars one way and then thinner ones the other, depending on the type of load you're doing. There's a whole world of reinforcing there waiting to be found. My experiences of it are, it's always a nightmare, it's always expensive, it always takes ages to put in the ground. But if you get it right and you balance it, it can reduce the amount of concrete you need and can be the better solution. There's all sorts of concrete specs as well, so We've got C30 going in here, which is quite high for the job we're doing, but that's to give it lots of strength. That's to do with the amount of cement in the actual mix of concrete. Wow, look at that. So you say this part pulls it all up?
It pulls it up, gives it a good churn here.
That like mixes it again,
Yeah,
is it?
so
it's like
sort of, it just delays the procedure. Just
Right.
give it an extra couple of seconds to
mix it together.
mix it, yeah, so it's all hot. This is,
Oh, then so it builds up there and
yeah,
gets stirred
so
up,
that it
and then
sends
when
it
that's
in,
full,
holds
goes
it,
to
when
that.
that's full,
Right.
sends it, holds it again slightly, sends it out.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
And they're like where?
Yes, well these get changed probably every 2 months.
Wow.
So we're constantly keeping an eye on them.
Is this just rubber around the outside then?
Yeah, this is a rubber boot, rubber lid.
Wow.
Which we change probably every 6 months.
And that puts up with all that.
Yeah.
That's amazing,
Yeah.
isn't it? You wouldn't think it would.
No, but it's all designed. It's purposely designed to withstand what it does withstand.
Wow.
Obviously, when I get back to the base now,
You'll wash it all out.
this
will
will be all gleaming, shining, ready for tomorrow.
Wow. But in between loads, you can
In between
all
loads,
day
I
long.
just
It's
put a
fine.
bit of dry up so I can get to and from each job.
Right.
At the end of each day, you give it a good blast with a pressure washer.
Wow. And that literally, all that stuff just drops in there. The sand, the cement,
Yep.
and everything just drops in the bottom there. Look. And that auger just takes it out. That's mega. Archimedes screw. Clever bloke.
Yeah. I had this changed about 2 months ago,
Right.
and now it'll last me another 4 or 5 months.
And eventually it just wears holes in. Does it?
Eventually, you start seeing the inside wearing.
Right.
Obviously, I've been with them 9 years. You can start to hear when it needs changing.
Oh right, you know from the noise it makes, right?
You can just tell it's not.
Is that because it
setting.
like it runs back? Does it? Because it's
Yeah.
too sloppy.
Yeah. So it'll all start coming out of my wings.
Right.
It starts to come out of my wings. I know because the organ will never change. It's either the wear blades or the
Right.
rubber. So one of the two.
And do they do the lot, the wings, the lot, or just
Yeah.
those?
Yeah,
when
no,
they change?
we just sort of do them as and when they're needed.
Right. Amazing.
Like that's the original boot from when it was made, which was 2022.
On the bottom,
The bottom, yeah.
but the top one
The
wears
top one that wore out 2 months ago.
right, and that wears more than the bottom.
The top wears more than the bottom.
You wouldn't think that, would you? You thought the weight would be on the bottom.
Because as it's mixing it, it's constantly pulling it up to the top.
Oh right, okay. So it's like getting air and stones are flying around
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
top, whereas at the bottom, because it's constantly
It's
in
just
it.
keeping it off it.
Right.
Yeah, it's weird how it works. It doesn't work the way you think it does.
Another £1,000. This is liquid money concrete. It's like literally pouring money in the ground, isn't it? I'm not sore. It is. It's amazing.
We're going to want more than one, aren't we?
I don't think we'll.
We've got
Looking
to
at what you did
go above the
yesterday.
match.
Yeah, I think it's more actually.
How many in total? Different deliveries.
Number 5. What? To do them all, or just around this tank?
This one.
This will be number 7.
This one.
This for these. So far, I think we've had 7 wagons of it. I bet you were all washed out and ready to go home, weren't you?
Yes,
I'm sorry.
yes I was. But to be fair, it was really early. Afternoon, it was early for us to be finished at that sort of time of day, which I thought was a false hope.
Oh,
It
I'm
was a
sorry.
false hope, and then
Yeah, I rang them up and said I could have it now. I can have it Monday, and they said, "Oh well, have it now."
Yeah. So where we take it?
So I think the whole lorry load's going. I've got 200 mil to go over that mesh.
Right. Okay. On both sides. You want
All
to
of
get
it,
that,
if we
yeah.
can. I mean, if we
Can we get nearer to that side at all?
we can do, if you shouldn't, I think we'll have a look, shall we?
Oh yeah. So we'll start this end and work our way along.
Amazing.
So the idea is it's covered in sensors. Because it's covered in sensors.
Never go wrong.
It tells me if there is an issue, then it shouldn't go wrong. If there is an issue, then this will let me know there's a problem. If I see fluctuation in gate movement, which will affect the mix design, it will let me know there's a problem, and then I can adjust it accordingly. I've got water parameters set, so if this is too wet for what you want or too dry, you can tell me. Yeah, exactly. But ultimately, it's
what you want at the end.
Yeah, I get it about right, and then it should be what it comes out, and then I just
Finesse it.
Finesse it. Yeah, somebody said to me once, "It's not necessarily yours; it's the jockey." So I thought that was quite a good one. So I'll use that at a later point.
Yeah, I could do my voiceover of this week's episode now, couldn't I? This time on Blake Builds, you could buy a perfectly good family car or put a tank in the ground. We've had a good couple of weeks, really. It's been good fun as always, isn't it?
It's been great fun.
It's quite humbling, actually, the amount of views we're having and actually subscribers, people subscribing. It's quite a scary thing. I've got mixed emotions really around that because whilst that's great, it's
Everyone sees everything.
everybody's seeing everything. Yeah.
That was the whole point of doing that, wasn't it? The idea was to show the learning curve from start to finish, which is getting steeper by the week.
Yeah, we need a name change. It's going to be TBIR, I think. Try to build it right, not build it right.
So luckily we caught it at the right time and we were able to put the reinforcing in. So that's added another, how many days the reinforcement? It's probably taking a good couple of days to get that reinforcement right. 2 or 3
Well, I
days.
was so upset about it, I couldn't record it, so.
Yeah.
That's so frustrating, isn't it? But there you go.
But it's not been missed now, has it? It's been put in and it's done and it's...
I think we need a montage of us looking at things at the end of this video series. I have to have a montage of us just going...
Looking down holes.
looking at things, yeah.
Looking at all the money.
Coming up, this yard is going to turn into a proper yard rather than just a building site, as hopefully the whole project. We've got trench boxes and all sorts of weird and wonderful things. So we'll see you next time.
Next time on Blake Builds.
Jesus Christ. How much time does he want? Oh God. There we go.
Blake builds, every day's a school day, and that's okay.